Have you ever dreamed of living in the mountains? To be surrounded by high peaks, deep valleys, and fresh mountain rivers? Well, add a few castles here and there, plus some historic towns, and you basically described Tyrol. You don't know what that is? No worries, cause we're gonna talk about it in today's episode. Hello and welcome to 7 Facts. The Austrian state of Tyrol is a large mountainous area with breathtakingly beautiful scenery and lots of old towns. Being a federal state, it obviously has its own government and parliament. Interestingly, the people of this state seem to be subscribed to just one political party, the Austrian People's Party, a liberal conservative organization that gave Tyrol all of its governors since 1945. Anyway, Tyrol is the country's third largest state, and together with Trentino and South Tyrol in Italy, it's a remnant of the old Princely County of Tyrol that was dissolved after World War I. Less than 1 million people live here, but at any given time there are loads more tourists present than actual residents. So, is that all there is to say? No, of course not. We'll still have a lot to talk about, and as usual, we'll first take a look at the history. Tyrol was engulfed by the Romans early on in 15 BC and included it into the provinces of Raetia and Noricum. The Romans left a deep impression on the local cultures, who adopted Latin and created Ladin with a D that's still spoken in South Tyrol to this day. Once Rome fell, Tyrol came in contact with Germanic and Slavic tribes, with the Germanics imposing themselves as the dominant culture. Eventually, the Holy Roman Empire would emerge as the strongest political entity, and they included Tyrol into their lands. The Counts of Tyrol, residing in Tyrol Castle, ruled the county directly from the Holy Roman Emperor. The Meinhardinger family emerged as the unchallenged owners up until Margaret Moltasch, the last of her dynasty. Left without an heir in 1363, Margaret decided to pass on Tyrol to Duke Rudolf IV of the Habsburgs. Up until Napoleon rattled things up in Europe in the early 1800s, the Habsburgs remained Tyrol's rulers. Then the county switched back and forth between Austria and Bavaria, then Austria-Hungary, until finally at the end of World War I it was split between Italy and Austria and was reorganized as a Bundesland, a federal state. The capital of Tyrol is the lovely city of Innsbruck. It began as Oini Pons, or Bridge over the Inn, Innsbruck in German, a Roman army station to protect the commercial road. Innsbruck is a gorgeous city nestled between the high peaks of the Alps. It's an internationally renowned winter sports center, having hosted not one but 2 Winter Olympics. It's also a very popular tourist destination, not only for winter sports fans, but also for cultural lovers. Fun fact, Douglas Adams was inspired to write The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy while lying intoxicated in a field in Innsbruck in 1971. Today, Innsbruck is a magnificent, prosperous Central European city, so you've got every reason to visit the capital of Tyrol. During World War II, Tyrol was the center of an important resistance group against the Nazis. Walter Caldonazzi, Franz Josef Messner, and the priest Heinrich Maier were the leaders of this highly dangerous endeavor. Maier has been actively involved with the resistance since 1940. His Christian faith and humanistic worldview forced him to take any action against National Socialism. He was the one who brought together different resistance groups with the aim to end the horrific regime and re-establish a free and democratic Austria. The Catholic conservative group passed on information about locations and productions of Nazi factories, thus helping the Allies to precisely bomb military targets. With their help, secret rocket factories for the infamous V-1 and V-2 were successfully identified by British and American forces, who then bombed the hell out of them. Unfortunately, in 1944 the Gestapo arrested Maier and tortured him, but were unable to uncover any information of great importance. Maier was transferred to the Mauthausen concentration camp and further tortured for months. On March 22, 1945, he was beheaded in the Vienna Regional Court. He was the last victim of Hitler's regime in Vienna. Tyrol is located entirely within the Eastern Alps. As a result, Tyrol is a very touristic state of Austria. On average, 10 to 11 million people visit this place every year, leaving behind about 9 billion euros. There are tens of thousands of hotels and restaurants, resorts of all kinds are everywhere, so without any shred of a doubt, this is one of Europe's top tourist destinations. And as I said before, mountains reign here, and winter sports are by far the main activity, but Tyrol also has many wonderful historic towns, villages and castles. And remember, all of this is in a state that barely has a population of over 700,000. So, is this place worth a visit? Well, yeah. The German state of Bavaria and Austrian Tyrol have something in common. Well, they have many things in common, but one of the most beautiful things they share is Luftmalerei. This is a form of mural art that's typical of Upper Bavaria and Tyrol. It's a folkloric form of art that imitates architectural elements, depicts patron saints, emblems, biblical stories, or just scenes of everyday rural life. This form of art is unique to this region of Europe, giving the already gorgeous villages of Tyrol an even more blissful feel. Everywhere you go in Tyrol, the only things you'll see are mountains and valleys. There are no boring landscapes here. The highest mountain peak in Austria, the Grossglockner, is found within this state, summiting at 3,798 meters above sea level. Along with it stand 16 other mountain ranges of the Alps. Most of the peaks of the Eastern Alps sit way above 2,000 meters and many exceed 3,000. Tyrol has been a center for educational mountain climbing for 3 centuries now, and most recreational activities still revolve around mountaineering. But at the same time, agriculture is not a big deal here due to the difficult terrain. The climate is, well, typically alpine, so while the air is fresh and crisp, don't expect a lot of tropical temperatures. While today, thanks to the advancements of our society, life is relatively easy in Tyrol, the same cannot be said in ancient times. Despite the rough terrain though, Tyrol has been continuously inhabited by humans for 14 to 30,000 years. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Leave your comments downstairs and don't forget there's a Patreon page where you can support this channel. I hope to see you next time. Bye.